Among a million stars, we'll wish up there is ours. Maybe this time it all comes true. I was on my own until that day you came into my world, and it changed everything. Now I'm not alone, and I can see a brand new path appearing before my eyes, but I can't reach it alone. I need someone to show me the sky, and a voice on the wind tells me that maybe you could lead the way. I'm on a million stars, oh, wish up there is ours. Maybe this time it all comes true. Whatever comes our way, we'll face it unafraid and take this world on together.
Hello everyone and welcome to day 13 of Crystalline. I don't even remember where we are because it's been so long, but you know what? I don't care. It's a good day for lollies. So let's say, hey, looks like Ethan's here. Hi Ethan, good evening. And it looks like 42 is also here. 42 says he finished playing the second I started. Well, I am a Kinsha. We have the best timing in the world because we finish things right when we're supposed to, and we're supposed to be where we need to be when we need to be. Let's get the load game going. Yeah, those are all empty. You're salty? You're salty? 42, what did you do? Did you die? I gotta watch the last match then on the Fort's tourney. Speaking of Fort's tourneys, who cares? It's Fort's. Crystalline's like a lot better because lollies. So let's begin. I feel awful. Barely get any sleep the night before. Everything that happened last night crashes down on me like a tidal wave. I groan, running a hand over my face. This is going to be a long day. The Pongo blinks at me. He cocks his head. He gives me a little nudge with his face. I'm fine. The Pongo's face settles into a worried expression. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what happened last episode. If you didn't catch the episode of day 12, Leanna broke up with the OP, with the MC. But you know what that means? It's a great day because even though Leanna broke up with us, because apparently the story. Hang on, I'm gonna lower my mic. So in the storyline, Leanna's like, well, you're going home eventually. I don't want to be the reason for you to stay here because eventually you're gonna want to go home. So even though we were trying to fight for her, saying, no, we want to stay. No, we love you. Yeah, so, but you know what's so good about that? Leanna breaking up with us? Do you wanna know what's so great about Leanna breaking up with us? Because now Amy is open season. We can now focus on Amy. Right? Because Leanna's like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. So we can focus on Amy now. Yeah, but if Liana just doesn't want us, you know, even though we can still fight for Liana, we should make her jealous. I sigh and sit up. The pongo squeaks as he rolls onto my chest and onto the bed. Sorry, little buddy. Pick him up and place him on my shoulder. I'm ready to go downstairs and meet the others. How about you? He frowns.
Boy.
Gives me a look, indicating he's still not entirely convinced I'm entirely okay. I'll be fine. Let's go. Even so, it feels difficult to even get out of bed. I force myself downstairs, but no one else is there yet. Suddenly I hear a clatter of footsteps. My stomach swoops with anxiety and hope. Part of me hopes it's Leanna, the other half doesn't because I'm not sure how to act around her. But I see a pair of black boots and a flash of a brown ponytail. I let out a sigh of relief. It's Zara! It's Zara. See? It's an old joke. It's Zack and Kara, but it's not Zack and Kara. It's Zara. Because now we don't even say, where's your... It's a mixture of Zack and Kara, because they're a couple, aren't they? So it's Zara. Oh, hey guys. Zack nods.
Hey.
I notice a few more scratches on his neck and collarbone again. Kara seems to be her usual chipper self, a bit too chipper. If Zack's wild hair and marks don't indicate what happened yesterday, Kara's smirk sure does. A slow smile tugs at my mouth. Hey Zack, never saw you again last night. Zack blinks.
What?
I really missed you. You never came home.
Sorry, he was a bit tied up last night.
Ooh, so she's one of those kinds of girls. And she's got the smirk too. She's got that smirk. His face burns red. There's another trail of footsteps coming from behind me. My spine locks.
Greetings.
It's Amy! I turn around. Amy's there and Leanna's with her. I notice their arms are full of supplies. They must have gotten up early to do shopping. My heart cracks all over again, just seeing Leanna and being around her. It hurts. Leanna's face burns with a blush.
Oh, hey.
Hey. I really don't know how to act around her. Leanna doesn't seem to know either. She twists her hands and avoids eye contact.
We got all of the supplies, so we don't have to linger here any longer. We can get going.
I nod. Okay, sounds good. I really don't want to be in this town anymore. Traveling might help take my mind off things.
Let's get going.
Kara and Zack blink. They stare a look with each other, but don't push it.
Okay.
We make our way out of the inn. Soon we find our... Oh, speaking of 42's waifu! I was talking with 42 a few days ago. In, DMs. And we were under... And my thought is that if the MC, who has the ability to have all four of the elements, and she's a mage prodigy, wouldn't they just be the better couple overall? I mean, think about it. He has the ability to have all four elements, and she's a mage prodigy. Imagine the deadly combination of their offspring. We make our way out of the inn. Soon we find ourselves out of the town and onto a new path. Come on. Lag? Oh, there we are. I remain quiet as we travel, immersed in my own swirling. Leanna isn't a mage. She's a mage knight. Amy is just a mage. Leanna avoids my contact, giving me space. Maybe she's trying to be respectful of my feelings, or maybe she just can't stand to look at me. I don't know which thought is more comforting. They both leave me feeling empty. Dragging my feet, I lag behind the others. I just can't seem to muster the energy to keep up. I keep replaying last night in my head. The evening was going perfectly until I sneak a glance at Leanna, who walks beside Amy. She stares straight ahead of her. Her walk looks stiff. She's not comfortable in her own skin. Her hair sways with her hips, and I remember how soft it felt tickling my skin, almost as soft her touch. My heart tightens and I shake my head. I can't linger on these thoughts. I can't ignore how much I want to be near her. Having to hold back is torture. These feelings don't disappear overnight. Is this as hard for her as it is for me? As night falls, we find a place to camp. We split up camp duties per usual, with Zara preparing dinner and Leanna and I searching for firewood. We search in silence. I feel like I should say something, but I don't know what. Sometimes I catch Leanna casting glances my way. She looks like she wants to tell me something, but doesn't. Dinner is quiet. We talk, but the conversation quickly trails off. I barely touch my food, but I can't eat anymore. After cleanup, I slip away and take a seat alone. The stars shine brightly in the sky, but they just remind me of Leanna. The grass rustles beside me.
Boy?
The Pongo looks up at me with wide eyes. Hey, Pongo!
Boy.
He beams at me. I return his smile, but it doesn't reassure him. His face falls.
Boy.
Sorry, little man. I'm just not in the mood.
Boy.
Yes, it's Blobberetto. He deflates, then snuggles up next to me.
Boy.
I smile weakly as another voice interrupts.
Hey,
Hey, it's the Kara version of Zara. Kara sits down beside me and gives the Pongo a short pat. Hey. She pauses, waiting, then gently nudges me.
come on, spill it.
Spill what?
Something's got you down. What is it?
Okay, alright guys, alright. We got, I'm fine. I can't remember what happiness feels like, or I don't want to talk about it. We're choosing C. We're choosing C. I don't want to talk about it.
It's not good to keep things bottled up. If you let it out, you'll feel better.
Doubtful.
Alright, well, even if you won't tell me, I can guess what happened. It has something to do with Leanna, doesn't it?
What makes you say that?
You guys keep looking at each other and sighing, and you haven't done anything cute today. Obviously something is up.
Do I tell her? But she and Leanna are friends too.
Did you two have a fight?
Not exactly. Maybe I should just tell her, but I don't want to make things feel weird. Kara's brows knit.
You didn't break up, did you?
I remain quiet and her eyes widen.
You two broke up!
Reluctantly, I nod. She lets out a long sigh.
Oh no! But you two were so cute together. What happened?
It just wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Of course it was. You two are perfect for each other. Are you sure you can't work it out?
It just doesn't make sense. Like Leanna said, I'm going to have to go home to my family and friends, and it's not like Leanna can come with me. She has her life here. Kara sighs deeply. She looks frustrated, but understanding.
You do have a point. But that still sucks.
Yeah, it does. She faces me, her expression soft.
Seriously though, I'm sorry you're going through this. I get that you want your space right now, and I'll give it to you. But if you ever do want to talk, I'm all ears.
Thanks. She gives my shoulder a comforting squeeze before pushing herself to her feet. Without a word, she rejoins the group. I shift positions and feel the Pongo stir beside me. He blinks up at me again and cocks his head.
Boy?
Oh, did you hear all that too?
Boy.
Yeah. Alright guys, do we do A? It's bitter to have loved and lost, but I've never loved at all. Or, don't make my mistake. We going with A? Hey. But don't let this scare... Wow! I didn't even know that was a line and I could get... I didn't even know that was gonna happen. God damn, I've watched so many anime, so much anime, you can just see these things happen a mile away. Excuse me a minute. I haven't drinking my 8 bottles of water today, so I've been chugging them down, and it just went through the wrong pipe. Ah. But don't let this scare you. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. He cocks his head to the side.
Boy, boy?
I look back out at the stars. Suddenly the pongo bounced away towards the camp. Must have scared him off. I sigh and lean back on my elbows. After a few minutes, the pongo returns, a crystal in his mouth, drops it in my lap, then nudges my hand, urges me to pick it up. What's this?
Boy!
I turn the crystal around in my hand. It's the old wind crystal I gave him when he was upset about that girl pongo. Realization dawns on me. I gave him a crystal when he was upset over a girl. And now that I'm upset over a girl, he's given me the crystal back. The pongo watches me expectantly. A, B, I say. A, oh, this is yours though. B, you the best pongo. Or C, this can't be fixed with the crystal. Alright, so we got one A. So we're going A. Thanks, but I can't accept this. I gave this to you. I offer the crystal back to him, but he jumps back, shaking his hand.
Boy, boy!
I guess I have no choice but to take this back. I smile, genuinely warmed by the pongo's attempt to cheer me up. Thank you. He beams. As the evening wears on and the campfire dies down, Leanna gently approaches me. I look up at her as she stands awkwardly beside me.
Hey.
Hey. There's a pause. I wait for her to fill the silence.
How are you doing?
Her eyes are full of concern as she twists her hand nervously. Okay! Don't speak to me? Okay. So we're gonna do what? So we're gonna do B, right? Why do you care? So it's B, right? We're going with B? Oh, come on! We have to be an asshole to her. She deserves it. Why do you even... I'm doing B. Since you guys are 1A, 1B, I'm a gotta be tiebreaker. I'm doing B. Why do you even care? Leanna flinches as I snap at her.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hurt you.
I cut her off with a wave of my hand as I get to my feet. What do you want? She looks away, her eyes glittering. I feel a pang of guilt. I still care for Leanna, and I don't want to make her cry, but I can't help but feel bitterness towards her right now. I just need some time.
Oh, it's just that it's getting late, and the rest of us are going to go to sleep. Maybe you should come back and get some rest too.
I nod. The pongo sits on my shoulder as I push myself to my feet. Together with Leanna, we return to the camp. I roll out my bedroll and lie down. I feel the pongo cuddle against me as I close my eyes. After a while, my thoughts quiet, and I finally drift to sleep. And honestly, I agree. you know, both of them were good, but it was just a rough breakup. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where if you don't let out those negative emotions, you can't get past those negative emotions because they'll bottle up and they'll sit in the back of your head. So you got to expel them. It's just one of those things in a love life. If 42 had a love life, he would understand. Also, 42, you are very quiet. Are you still salty about the last match? The next morning, we get up bright and early. Everyone seems to be in a more serious mood as we clean up camp. We're getting really close to the Shadow Temple, and the weight of what we might find win the ways. Oh, you're doing the Bronze League Heroes! Husky Starcraft, thank you very much. We're getting really close to the Shadow Temple and the weight of all we need, what we might find their ways on all of us. After we pack up, we continue on towards the Shadow Temple. The sky is clear and beautiful, but the sun is hot. It seems to beat on the back of our necks. The path is dusty, the sand pristine, but hard to walk in. After a while, I realize I'm getting desperately thirsty. I take a swig from my canteen, thankful we packed before heading out. I wonder how Zach can manage to keep his trench coat on this whole time. Even Leanna looks a little stuffy in her armor. Kara is the only one who doesn't seem to be bothered by the weather. After what seems to be forever, we come across a temple ruin into the night. The stones are charcoal gray. It seems to be humming with a deep old magic. I can feel it from here. Something frizzy and crackling. A type of energy that settles deep within my bones without having to even enter.
This is it.
Leanna nods.
Yeah,
Kara grips her knives.
It's probably best we all stay close. We don't know where we're going to find Void. Or whatever else we might find in there.
Leanna draws her sword, her manipulator already giving off a faint glow. I ready my sword as well.
Right. Let's get going. Everyone, stay close.
We nod and together enter the temple. The temple is surprisingly dark and cool. There's a gentle moaning breeze coming from with it somewhere. It whisks around the back of my neck like the lips of a ghost. A shiver runs down the length of me. I'm unsure if I should be thankful or frightened. How is this place so cold when it's located in a desert? The walls are gray and edged with glowing lime green symbols. The stones here look rough and uneven, but the ground is dry and clear of any sand. The only sounds are hammering of my heart and the crunch of our boots against the stone. We stumble through the dark, taking small steps, fearful that we could turn a corner and stumble across Void at any minute. We keep inching onward. After what feels like an eternity, we stumble across an open area inside the temple. Leanna frowns.
this is strange. No one is here.
Kara keeps her voice low.
Maybe they're deeper inside the temple somewhere.
Leanna brows furrow.
Maybe. I just feel like we would have heard them or seen them by now.
Zach's jaw clenches.
This could be a trap.
It's a trap! A chill runs down my spine.
If that is the case, it does us no good to stay in one place. It is best to move on and see if we can find Void, or the Shadow Elemental.
The others agree.
Right. Then let's keep going.
Our footsteps echo in the quiet. Zach leads the way with his guard up. Kara stays close to him, with Leanna and Amelia walking side by side. I take another step. The temple seems to be glowing darker as shadows curl at my feet. I squint as the light glows fainter and fainter, and the shadows grow longer and longer.
Be careful.
Leanna's voice sounds far away, but she was right next to me for a minute ago. Leanna? My voice feels flat and dull against the emptiness. No echoes resound. In fact, I can't even hear my friend's footsteps anymore, as the shadows thicken in the air. Soon the darkness overtakes me and I stumble. My hands are out in front of me. Amy, do you think you could light us a fire? I'm met with silence. Amy? Glancing around, I'm surrounded by total darkness, with no signs of my friends. Only a black abyss looms in front of me. I feel the tightness as the shadows squeeze closer to me. I close my eyes as I feel a whisper of a breath in the back of my neck. Then suddenly, it stops. The library is far more quiet than I would have expected at this time of the night. The only sound is the gentle hum of the air conditioner. Whoa, that was too close. I blink my eyes wide open, then I stifle a yawn as to wake myself up. Focus. Finals are just around the corner, so I can't afford to slack off. Glancing around me, I notice I'm the only person. I think we're in a dream sequence. It's getting pretty late. I'll go back to the dorms as soon as I finish this last chapter. I flip through the book, only a few more pages to go. I can do this. Stealing my resolve, I refocus on my textbook. The words in the book blur together as my eyelids grow heavy. I fight to keep my eyes open, but my lids continue to droop. I'll just rest them for a second. Something jerks me awake, and my eyes blink open. A bright light illuminates the room, blinding me until all I see is a stark whiteness. I throw my arm over my eyes to shield it from the light. A few seconds pass. The light seems to dim, but it doesn't feel like the same fluorescent glow of the library bulbs. Carefully, I unwind and bring my arm down, squinting at a pale blue sky. A mild breeze tousles my hair, blades of grass tickling my neck as they wave in the wind. Where am I? I'm about to push myself up off the ground when something pops into view. A round blue blob with two dark eyes blinks at me.
Boy?
Why does this guy look kind of familiar? When it notices my stare, it opens a small mouth and takes a dainty bite at my nose. Aye! This creature's bite doesn't sting. It feels like a cool splash of water before it can take another. I scramble to my feet. The creature tumbles off my head and falls to the ground. Once it lands, it shakes itself off with a gelatinous tremble, clearly unfazed. It hops onto my foot and opens its mouth again, but I quickly shake it off. It rolls off my foot onto the dirt, then rights itself again.
Boy.
It pouts and continues to watch me, but doesn't attempt another bite. Pongo?
Boy?
I take in the scattering of trees around me. Their tall branches kiss the sky. There's a winding dirt trail which weaves through the trees. As I follow it with my gaze, I see smoke billowing out of thatched roofs of villages in the far distance. Where the hell am I? The last thing I remember is... I glance down at the blue creature. What? At my response, it leaps up. Wow. The pongo jumps higher than I remember. It startles me and I instinctively step back. I didn't notice the other person until it's too late. We painfully collide, and I lose my balance before toppling over. Forcing my hands to catch myself, protecting my fall. When I open my eyes, I see a woman. Her eyes are scrunched shut, and her mouth is twisted in a grimace. Her long, blonde hair is splayed out around her. As she lets out a small groan, she blinks open her eyes and fixes her gaze at me. Wait, she looks familiar. This girl. I know her. Wait, Leanna? She blinks.
What?
I have an uneasy feeling in my stomach. Something about her. Something that happened. Why do I feel like someone punched me in the gut?
Get off me!
Huh? A flash of blue light stings my eyes. Suddenly I'm shoved off with a roaring wind. It groans and shoves me backwards onto the ground. Ow! Leanna scrambles to her feet. She draws her sword. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Leanna, what are you doing? Her eyes narrow.
How do you know my name?
What? Confusion washes over me. What are you saying? For some reason, my heart clenches. Something about Leanna seems painful, but I can't put my finger on why that is. My stomach squirms. I rise to my feet. You don't remember me? Leanna doesn't answer. She watches me, her gaze cool and guarded. I shift under her stare. I glance around the place. It looks like I'm in a meadow. Hey, where are we? Her defenses stay up.
What do you mean, where are we?
Something just feels off. Maybe you can show me the way to the... I try to remember. Where did she take me before? She led me somewhere, didn't she? The Mage Academy. Can you take me there? I'm not sure where it is anymore.
Get away from me, you creep!
Horror washes over me. What? She spins on her heel in a whirl of blonde hair and dashes away. Whoa, wait! But it's no use. She doesn't stop. This isn't right. This isn't how I remember things going. Something is off. It has to be. But I glance around. Where am I? Are we in Meadow Hill? Are we in Illuma? We're not in Bazada. Where are we, guys? Guys, A, B, or C? Well, we are in Meadow Hill. Yeah, this place was called Meadow Hill. It looks the same, but somehow it feels so different. After Meadow Hill, Leanna led me to the Mage Academy where Zach and Amy joined our group. But Kara joined us somewhere else. Where was that? Where did she join us, guys? In Hearth Point, Ember Mist, or Stonecrest? A, B, or C? Is 42 there? Does he remember? I'll finish. I'll do this one. Ember Mist, that was it. She helped us go through the fire temple. And we've been traveling together for a long time. I can't shake this feeling that something significant happened recently. Where did we all last go together? Masia. That's right, the city outside of Havengard, where Leanna... My mind freezes. Where she broke up with me. Feels like I was just punched in the gut. All of this isn't right. Leanna and I, we were together. We aren't strangers. This place, it can't be the real Meadow Hill. This can't be the real Astaria. As soon as that last thought passes through my head, the sky cracks. A shimmer of warmth rushes into Meadow Hill and floods it with white light. I cringe and shield my eyes with my hands. I jerk awake. The light is gone.
Boy!
Huh? I can feel the Pongo resting on my cheek. But he just looks like a blurry blue blob. I blink rapidly, forcing my vision to refocus. The Pongo's eyes shimmer with tears.
Boy!
He nudges my cheek as if trying to wake me.
Boy!
His little voice is tinged with distress. Hey, it's alright. I'm okay. Pongo perks up at my voice. I reach out and pet the top of his head. Hey, it's okay.
Boy!
He wobbles underneath my touch. I feel him start to relax. He hops onto my shoulder, snuggling close to my neck. I force myself to stand. The room sways a little. It takes me a full minute to realize I'm back in the Shadow Temple. I groan and rub the back of my head. What was that? I feel the Pongo shrug.
Boy!
So you didn't see any of that? He blinks.
Boy!
Apparently not. Was it all just a dream? I look around. Where did the others go? I blink away the rest of the blurriness of my vision and see the others are sprawled out across the floor. My stomach lurches with alarm. What happened? Are they hurt? Leanna's the closest to me. I stumble as I rush over to her. Leanna? I reach out, attempting to shake her awake. As soon as I touch her, that same blinding light explodes in my vision. I flinch, squeezing my eyes shut. Then slowly, the light begins to fade. Huh? I open my eyes. This isn't Leanna's home. Isn't this Leanna's home? We're all seated at the table for breakfast. The tension is taut in the air.
Oh, spare me the theatrics. How could this be your dream? Don't you realize how dangerous it is to be a mage knight?
Yes, I do realize that. I live it every day. But at least, as a mage knight, I'm well equipped to take care of myself. I've been trained to handle danger.
He shakes his head.
You can't be prepared for every circumstance. What if you get ambushed, outnumbered, or overwhelmed in battle? What if your teammates fall and you're the only one left?
So what if that does happen? How can we live life based on hypotheticals? What if I became ill? What if I couldn't bear children? Would you still force me to get married? But if those things happened, I wouldn't be able to fulfill my duty as a lady in the House of Dawn. Then what?
Her father scowls and waves a hand dismissively.
That's not the same. Those are all based on chance. You aren't throwing yourself into situations which would allow those things to occur. As a mage knight, you're walking into those scenarios every day.
Leanna points a finger at Leon. Her voice is shrill as she tries to keep her composure.
What about Leo then? He's a mage knight who walks into danger every day. Why aren't you worried about him?
Because it's his responsibility to serve and protect as a man in the House of Dawn.
For once, Leanna is speechless. Silence settles over the table like a heavy blanket. Her mother stares at her lap, as still as a statue. Leon opens and closes his mouth as if he wants to speak, but can't find the words to say. Her father nods.
Now that you've come to your senses, we can discuss the details of the engagement.
No.
The rage returns to her father's face.
How many times must we go round in this endless game? When will you accept your responsibility as a lady in the House of Dawn?
Leanna's voice is scarily calm.
If this is what it takes to be a Dawn, then I don't want to be a Dawn anymore.
Then her parents laugh.
Fine.
Shock spreads across Leanna's face.
What?
He shrugs.
If you refuse to fulfill your responsibility as a Dawn, then you have no right to call yourself a Dawn.
A or B, guys? We were all here for this. None of this is right. Her father was mortified when Leanna suggested throwing away her family name before. Leanna, that isn't your father.
What?
She looks around. Can she hears me? I try raising my voice. Think about it. Your father would never say something like, we're like floating between different people's nightmares. She freezes. Yes, she can hear me. Don't you think all of this is strange? Her head turns in the direction of my voice, but I don't think she can see me.
Leanna, are you listening to me?
She turns to face him. Her posture becomes straighter.
I understand now.
She shakes her head.
I understand now. You are not my family. My father would never say something like that.
Just like before, there's another blinding flash of light. It engulfs the room until it burns my eyes too much to keep them open. I cringe, shielding my face. After a few moments, I feel the light slowly begin to fade. When I open my eyes again, Leanna is still on the ground. She gasps awake. Are you okay? I'm still on my knees, hovering beside her.
I think so.
Leanna lets out a deep sigh.
I'm happy all of that was just a terrible dream.
She shivers.
I know that's not how it happened, but hearing it was still unnerving.
I nod. She releases a heavy breath.
Thank you.
I nod. Leanna glances around. She must have spotted the others before her face furrows in concern.
Are they okay? What's happening to them?
I think they're trapped inside their own illusions. When I touched you, I was able to see and hear everything going on. I think we can help them too. She nods, still visibly shaken.
Right.
I help her stand, and then we drag our way over to the others. Zach is the closest. His face is surprisingly calm, as if he were just cuddled up for an afternoon nap. Even so, I feel an impending sense of dread. What kind of illusion is Zach facing? I can't even begin to imagine some of the awful things he must have seen in his past as a mercenary. Are you ready? Leanna nods. Together we bend down and touch his arm. There was that same low moaning sound, a flash of light. Leanna and I find ourselves at a campsite. A few silver stars wink overhead. The air is cool and calm. Fireflies blink in the distance.
Where are we?
I'm not sure. There is an abrupt roar of laughter. We turn around to see Zach sitting around a fire with a large group of people. They all burst into another wave of laughter, and Zach joins in the merriment. I was expecting something darker, but he's actually happy. My stomach clenches. I'm not sure if that's worse or not. Zach glances over a few cards in his hand. I notice the others are also hunched over their own cards.
Damon, do you have any sixes?
My heart gives an unpleasant twist.
Oh,
Worry crinkles between Leanna's brows.
Damon. That's his old mentor, right?
I nod. I remember some of the stories Zach told me about Damon at the inn. He looks just as humble and strong as Zach described him to be. Damon chuckles.
Not today, my boy.
Zach sighs and begrudgingly takes a card from the pile.
Hey, Zach. You don't happen to have any sixes, do you?
Zach frowns. Ver chuckles. He had some bright red hair, but he looks younger here. A few of his marks on his face look fresh, like he got them recently. Zach grudgingly hands over his cards. A grin sprawls across Ver's face. He places down several matches.
Looks like I win again.
The others throw their heads back and groan, but they're laughing. Zach shakes his head.
You always seem to win.
Ver shrugs, feigning humility.
What can I say? I'm just lucky.
Damon claps a hand over Zach's shoulder.
Maybe next time, Zach.
Zach smiles, looking appreciative. My stomach turns. Zach, this isn't real. Zach pauses. He lifts his head up and turns in our direction.
What's wrong?
He shakes his head.
Nothing. I just thought I heard my name.
Ver laughs.
Getting a little crazy there, Zach?
A faint blush dusts his cheeks. He shakes his head.
No, it was nothing.
Leanna frowns next to me.
This isn't good. What if he doesn't want to leave the illusion?
Hey, dinner's ready. Everyone perks up.
Oh, great. I'm starving.
One of the men passes everyone in the group a bowl of soup. Just as soon as Zach is about to dig in, someone hands Ver a bowl. It's twice the size as everyone else. Zach barely blinks an eye.
You've got to eat up there. I can't have my star pupil going hungry.
Ver flashes Damon a bright smile.
Thanks.
Damon takes a few bites of his soup.
Oh, by the way, Zach, after we're done, you can clean up for the night.
Zach blinks.
Me? But I cleaned up the last 3 times.
Damon smiles, looking apologetic.
Bear needs to have his strength to run point on the Crystal Rail mission tomorrow.
Zach blinks.
Wait,
Zach's held breath seems to leave his body.
the Crystal Rail?
Ver lets out a bitter laugh.
What? Did you think you were running point?
Realization washes over him. Zach's face pales.
That's not...
He shakes his head.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Zach looks like he's remembering. Hope flourishes in my chest. Should we let him come to the realization, or should we help Zach? A. You ran point on the mission, Zach. Not Ver. Ver betrayed you. Zach's brow furrow. I know he heard me.
I ran point on that mission.
What are you talking about?
Damon raises his eyebrows.
Zach, you're not making sense. We haven't done the mission yet.
Zach's eyes go dark. It's like his very soul has flown somewhere far, far away.
No, we have.
His grip tightens around his bowl. Damon's brows crinkle. The others stare at him.
What are you talking about?
He lets out a nervous laugh.
You're starting to worry me.
Zack slowly raises his head. His eyes are bleak.
No,
His bangs cover his eyes.
this isn't real.
Damon shifts under his gaze.
What do you mean?
Zack looks up. He seems to have trouble getting the words out.
This was nice, seeing all of you again.
The group looks at him. No one speaks. Zack stands up and brushes himself off.
You're leaving?
Zack nods.
I'm moving forward with my life. I'm not living in the past anymore.
He stares down Damon. Damon finally smiles.
Take care then.
Always.
A bright light bursts across her eyes. It's like a star exploded and filled the entire campsite. I flinch, throwing my arms over my eyes. The heat from the light gradually begins to decrease. I feel it start to dim. When I lower my arm, a few bright spots blink in front of my nose. It takes a few seconds for my eyes to refocus, and I realize we're back in the temple. Zack groans, slowly hoisting himself up. He rubs his head. Leanna's brows crinkle.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
Despite what happened, he seems to be at peace. These illusions are our memories. Use our memories. A shiver runs down the length of my spine. How does this place know so much about us? Zack shrugs. He doesn't offer any answers. Leanna, meanwhile, seems just as spooked as I am.
I don't know. We'd better help the others before they slip further away.
We nod. We walk a little farther down the corridor before finding Kara. Her brown ponytail is sprawled up behind her. Her face is raw, like she's having a nightmare. She flinches as we crouch down. Notices Zack's jaw is tight. He reaches out and touches her shoulder, and Leanna and I follow suit. There's a flash of light. When it fades, I find myself standing between Leanna and Zack inside a small room.
my decision is final.
Huh? I look up. Zack is standing across from Kara with his arms crossed. Wait, what? I glance at the Zack beside me and then back at the scene. Is the other Zack an illusion? Kara's eyes shimmer with tears.
What did I do wrong?
You know exactly what you did wrong.
Kara's face crumples.
Please, don't.
She crosses her arms, hugging herself.
Please.
Don't pretend to be sorry now. You deserve to be alone. What?
The real Zack's face curdles into a snarl.
You bastard!
He lunges forward and punches the fake Zack in the face.
Ow!
He stumbles backwards, clutching his nose.
What the hell?
Furry contorts real Zack's face.
What is wrong with you? What? Who are you?
Zack strikes him again so hard, his head reels to the side.
Ow! Like hell, I'm gonna let you walk away from the greatest thing that happened in your life.
The other Zack rubs his jaw. His eyes stare wide at the real Zack. I can see the shock and dismay in them. It's a weird look.
How are you even doing this?
Zack punches himself again in response. Why are you hitting yourself? Hey, Zack. Zack looks at me. Why are you hitting yourself?
Shut up!
Kara blinks.
Wait.
It seems as though she's just beginning to process what's going on. She looks between the two Zacks. I can see the cogs turning in her head, piecing everything together. Finally, she smiles. A blush dusts her cheeks.
I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to you.
A white light shimmer. It blooms and sparkles over the entire area. Once again, we're taken out of the illusion and find ourselves back in the temple. Zack growls and swings forward, his fist whistling through the air. He stumbles and rights himself at the last minute.
Where is that guy?
He rolls around, searching for him. Kara beams. She rushes over and throws her arms around Zack. Zack freezes. Kara snuggles her head into the crook of his neck.
So,
What?
I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to you.
His face flushes ruby red.
I only said that so you'd wake up.
She continues to nuzzle him.
No take backsies.
He turns away, still red, but he doesn't fight out of her grasp. I clear my throat. Now, you guys, we still have to help Amy. Kara blinks, noticing us for the first time, and her expression becomes serious. She steps away from Zach, but not before snatching his hand. He gives her a confused look as she interlocks their fingers.
Come on, let's go find Amy.
We walk a little further down and find Amelia. She's sprawled across the floor. Her face, usually a mask of calm, is twisted with something unpleasant. I frown, suddenly uneasy. Whatever Amy is going through, it doesn't look good. As soon as I reach out and touch her arm, that same white light engulfs my vision. When it puffs out, I find myself back in Illumina.
This is the inn from Illumia, isn't it?
I look around. Yeah.
Greetings.
I whirl around. Amy is standing at the bar talking to Leanna. I blink. Why does Amy see an illusion of Leanna? Oop. The real Leanna flushes.
I don't know.
Amelia doesn't seem to notice our presence. She continues on.
I am aware of the true location of Ember Mist.
My mind starts racing.
Wait, Ember Mist.
You can tell this is not the real Leanna because she's way too smiley. A light bulb goes off into my head. This is the day we first met Amy, when she asked to join our group. Leanna nods, looking worried. Why would Amy's trial be something like this?
You're just a kid. You should go back to the academy. It's too dangerous out here for someone your age.
Amelia turns pink. Someone as young as her? Realization washes over me like cold water. Everywhere Amy went, she was treated like a kid. The academy didn't take her seriously. Even us, as a group, are always babying her. Is this Amelia's worst fear? To always be seen as a child?
I think you are mistaken about my age. I am a student studying to be a mage caster. I have received top marks in all of my classes.
The fake Leanna laughs, shaking her head.
Aw, that's adorable. Little Amelia gets top marks. Do you want me to give you a gold star sticker?
Oh wow, that's just wrong. You're supposed to offer a cookie. It's, do you want a cookie? Amelia flinches, as if the fake Leanna has just struck her. Pain flashes behind her eyes. I've never seen her look this devastated before.
It would be a lot of work to protect you. I don't want to be a full-time babysitter while traveling.
Zach frowns as he sees Amy's distress. He shoves Leanna towards her illusion.
Go out there and punch your fake self in the face!
That is the quote of the day. Go out there and punch your fake self in the face. That is the quote of the day.
What?
She stumbles, catching herself, and comes face to face with Amelia. Amelia blinks in surprise.
Why are there two of you?
The real Leanna panics.
You can see me?
Yes.
The fake Leanna gives a real Leanna a strange look as if to ask what she's doing there.
Don't listen to this imposter, Amy. You're the one that came out of nowhere. Clearly, you're the imposter.
Amy pauses.
Perhaps this is another trial.
She taps her chin in thought.
There is really only one way to settle this.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No. Wait, what the hell? Why the hell are there Why the hell are there... I gotta look at that later. The Discord's acting up. If you look at the Discord, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 420 Midge 420s. And I don't know what the hell's going on. I just saw it and I was like, what the hell? So both Leanna stare at her. I thought I re-invited you. I sent you a re-invite. There you go. Have fun. Enjoy.
How?
Each of you must attempt a flirtatious encounter.
The fake Leanna smirks.
This will be a piece of cake. I refuse!
Leanna crosses her arms. Amelia doesn't even blink. The real Leanna, and she looks at the real Leanna and nods.
I am certain of who the real Leanna is, and I will no longer believe the lies of the other one.
The white light flashes instantly. It floods the room before fading away. A few seconds later, we find ourselves back at the temple. As our vision refocuses, Leanna looks at Amelia.
How did you guess which one was me so quickly?
Kara interrupts before Amy can answer.
Because you're a prude.
Oh! That's like... Ah. Leanna's eyes grow wide and crosses her arms.
I am not.
Kara snickers. Leanna looks to Zach, who shrugs.
You definitely are.
She looks at me. She quickly looks away. My chest aches again with a fresh wave of pain. What I wouldn't give to be able to feel her affection once more. I shake my head, shaking away those thoughts. Amelia, who is still on the floor, rises to a stand. She rubs the back off her head in thought.
It is most interesting you were all able to join me in the same illusion. Was it the same for the rest of you?
We nod.
I see.
She looks a bit bothered by what she saw in her illusion, but crosses her arms.
Perhaps it would be best to keep moving. I believe that was a temple trial we just encountered.
That's true. Normally after completing a trial, we'd be sent into the room with the elemental.
Hey, do you guys see that?
She points to a door. The carvings on it are rather intricate. I can see more symbols and elaborate swirls and whirls. It's a deep plum purple standing out amongst the stone.
Do we attempt to open it?
Zach shrugs.
It's not like there's another option.
Let's go. I lead the way to the door, and the others follow. We step to the door. Standing in the center, directly facing me, is the shadow elemental. Aww, she's cute! Aww, look how cute she is. Her long hair falls delicately to her back, flowing around her gossamer gown. Her dress hugs her every curve. As I lift my gaze, her violet eyes meet mine. I open my mouth to speak when a gasp interrupts me.
The elemental.
I glance over at my friends who are frozen in wide-eyed shock. Amy's eyes are the eyes of the the eyes of saucers. Her mouth is open in silent wonder. I can almost see the questions racing through her mind. Leanna's expression is one of more quiet amazement. She carefully looks at the elemental up and down. Zach slowly shakes off at the surprise and resumes his usual expression while Kara doesn't even bother to mask her appreciation. Wait, you can see her?
I sure can. No wonder you went ahead and kissed the last one.
Ha! Always with the jokes, Kara. My gaze darts towards Leanna. She pretends like it doesn't faze her, but she refuses to meet my eyes. Zach claps a hand on my back.
Guess you weren't crazy after all.
Throughout the whole encounter, the shallow elemental gaze remains on me. As I refocus on her, a smile lights up her face. Her chest shimmers as she takes a step closer.
Child of the other world, you have finally arrived.
Ooh, that psionic sound. Ooh. Her voice feels familiar, yet strange, like a melody I can't place. It's quiet yet resounding, delicate but powerful. Holy talking elementals, Batman! Or should we just be cool about it? A or B, guys? You can talk? I blurt the exclamation out before thinking. She immediately looks at me and I feel a blush crawl up my cheeks. None of the other elementals spoke.
Yes, for the safety of Mortalis Terra, they could not.
How come?
In order for us to manifest fully onto Mortalis Terra, it would drain a dangerous amount of energy. Because of that, my sisters have merely projected illusions of themselves to help guide you.
So, are you an illusion too? She shakes her head and her hair brushes alluringly over her chest.
Shadow energy is in excess here. I came seeking your aid.
You need my help?
Ether Terra, where I am from, and Mortalis Terra work in conjunction with each other to maintain the balance of energy.
The hell? No. Aw.
Ether Terra, where I am from,
Yeah,
and
rip
Mortalis Terra
Skype.
work in conjunction with each other to maintain the balance of energy. When Terrans use energy, it returns to Ether Terra. And when we use energy, it flows back to Mortalis Terra.
Sorry guys, sorry about that call.
This is the reason why maintaining the balance of energy is important. It is so both of our planes of existence can live and thrive upon our shared world. But we noticed an irregularity. Shadow energy was being used less on Mortalis Terra, and as a result, there was less shadow energy available in Ether Terra. But the other elemental energy usage remained unchanged. My people grew increasingly restless at the lack of shadow energy in our world. Some decided to take matters into their own hands. Slowly, shadow energy increased in use until it was back in balance with the other elements. And yet, shadow energy continued to grow and grow, and now the imbalance has returned, with the scale tipped to shadow energy.
I'm gonna sign out of Skype on my desktop. Give me a minute. There we go.
That must be because of Void tainting other magic to Shadow.
No, it's not. It's not. I forgot that I have Skype on my on all my devices, and I forgot to close Skype on my computer before I started streaming. Leanna's voice is soft, barely a whisper, but it surprises me nonetheless. The dip in shadow energy they felt in Ether Terra must have been a result of the ban of shadow magic after the Treaty of Saria, and the spike must have occurred after Void began tainting spheres. For the first time, the shadow elemental's gaze slides over to Leanna, who falls quiet, uncertain under scrutiny. The shadow elemental smiles softly. Her gaze continues to Zack, then to Kar, but lingers on Amy.
You have a strength and ability much greater than your age.
Amy continues to stare in awe. She's too awestruck to speak. The shadow elemental smiles reassuring. A gentle silence falls over us as I contemplate all she just said. This isn't what I was expecting.
Time is of the essence. I should not remain here much longer, but I'm sure you have questions.
My mind races with questions. There's an elemental, and she's not from here, and she's talking to me. That in itself is a lot to wrap my head around. I take a deep breath and force myself to calm down and collect my thoughts. Should we do the why me question? The usual why May? Or no? Let's ask all. Okay, let's do all of them. You said you're from Ether Terra. What area is that?
It's on Terra, but on a different plane of existence.
I furrow my brows. I'm confused. What does that mean exactly?
Ether Terra is a mirror landscape of Mortalis Terra. That's why we share energy and are able to cross over into this plane. However, our creatures and societies differ from those who inhabit this plane.
I see. What is an elemental? She delicately cocks her head.
Your titles are not the same as ours. I'm not familiar with elementals.
That's the term Terrans used to refer to you.
Oh,
A smile plays at her lips and she runs a finger through her hair thoughtfully.
elemental. I like it. I am the Shadow Magistrate. As such, it is my responsibility to maintain the balance of shadow energy flow between Mortalis Terra and Ether Terra, and to balance the shadow element among the other elements.
That's quite interesting. She smiles. I can't understand why the Terrans view the elementals as deities, but it sounds like that's not the case. They're more akin to societal leaders. What are the temples and their trials? If Terrans built these temples for you, why do the temple trials exist?
Every elemental energy type is manipulated in a different way. The trials are created by us and tailored to determine the capacity one has to handle that energy. The trials are implemented and watched over by the Guardians. They ensure the integrity of both the trials and the participants.
I remember the Firefox at the Fire Temple, but where were the other Guardians? How come I didn't see all the Guardians at each temple?
The Guardians do not always appear. Some do not wish to be seen, but all are present within their temple.
I remember the trial in the Water Temple. I wonder if that imitation Amy was actually the Guardian in disguise. I see. She nods. Was it you who brought me to Terra?
Yes,
Why did you pick me?
we sensed the fortitude of magic ability on the parallel world was significantly stronger than here on Terra. So my sisters and I opened the rift to that world.
But why?
The humans from that world, your world, have a capacity for magic that is unseen here on Terra.
How is that possible? Earth has no magic. She shakes her head.
I do not have the answer to that.
That surprises me. I guess the elementals are not as all-knowing as I expected. They have their limitations too. But why did you choose me specifically? She looks at me.
We hoped that a champion from your world would help us, and so you traveled through the rift.
So it was purely by chance that I was chosen? How did you know that I would come and collect energy? You were waiting for me. How did you know I'd come here or go to any of the temples?
We believed that you would naturally find the areas of high energy concentration, if only to find a way to return home. My sisters tried to guide you as much as they could.
I guess it was just lucky that we encountered Void and pieced together what was going on. How did you know I'd help you even after learning about Void?
We had faith in you.
That was risky. So you had no idea what would happen. Pretty risky move. Her eyes hold my own as her gaze seems to look into my soul.
And yet, here you are.
Touché. That's all I need to know for now. We should get moving and stop Void. Lena stirs gently beside me, reminding me of her presence. I'd forgotten that they were there. It makes sense that they remained quiet to let the shadow elemental explain. Kara steps forward.
Sorry to interrupt, but how come we can see you?
The shadow elemental turns to face her. Her hair floats behind her before falling back into place.
In this manifested state, I exist in your plane.
Kara dings an elbow into Zack.
And someone here didn't believe the elementals were real.
He crosses his arms.
Yeah, well, someone also told us Void would be here, but I haven't seen them anywhere.
You're right, it has been quiet.
If they aren't here, then where would they be?
Besides this location, I can sense one other area with a strong congregation of shadow energy.
Amy nods, finding her voice again.
Perhaps that is where Void is located.
Is it nearby?
Elemental shakes her head.
No, but I can send you where you need to go.
By opening a rift? She nods. She could send you home now? Or do we just keep going? No home? I didn't know this was gonna happen! I mean, I could always... just fast forward it. But, nah. It's pretty helpful that she can open a rift. The Elemental reaches out her hand. For a moment, nothing happens, but then a small purple hole the size of a pea tears open in the space in front of us. Eats the surrounding space until it is open large enough to fit a person through. I stare in awe as a jagged fabric of reality falls around it. The rift opening is a rich lavender with no indication of where it leads. It feels ominous and familiar. My friends look stiffly at the rift, distrust and hesitation in their eyes. Only Amelia looks intrigued and excited by it.
The balance of the elements must be restored. We're counting on your help.
How come you don't come with us?
This temple has a tremendous amount of energy. It's safe for me to manifest here for a brief time, but I cannot manifest elsewhere, lest it cause irreparable harm to Mortalis Terra.
Amelia steps up to the rift, but the elemental stops her. She faces me again.
There is something I must give you first.
She steps towards me, her dress billowing behind her. She reaches out her hand. Before she touches me, Leanna pulls me away.
Hold on.
What? The shadow elemental remains frozen. Her eyes are expressionless as they land on Leanna.
You've seen the kind of damage shadow magic can do. Are you sure it's safe for you to accept that?
Shadow magic on its own does not do harm, as is the same with any element.
But the corruption it can cause.
Put a hand on Leanna to reassure her. It'll be no different than when I absorbed any other element. Everything will be fine. Her brows are still creased with worry, but she nods and steps back. The shadow elemental places her palm around my face. Her initial touch is like getting hit with a snowball, an icy impact which fades into nothingness. A smooth stream of energy pours into me. Soft as silk and as cold as ice. It freezes my bones, darkening my spirits. My teeth begin to chatter and my body shakes. My vision clouds as wave after wave of energy focuses inside me. They cling to me and twist and crawl within me. I feel numb in my presence. My senses are heightened. It runs through my veins, weightless but present, like a shadow. Everything ceases at once. When she breaks contact, I jolt back, blinking my eyes until my vision returns. She seems more translucent than before. Leanna rushes over to me.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I turn back to the elemental. Thank you. She nods.
I have done all I can. The rest is up to you.
My friends also look back at the elemental.
You can count on us to help.
Thanks for all your help.
Yeah, thanks.
I wish time was not so urgent. I have many questions I wish to ask of you, but I thank you for all you've done for us.
The shadow elemental nods and indicates the rift.
Please proceed with haste.
I hesitate, staring into brightness. What happens if I walk through here? Amelia confidently steps through the rift.
Amy!
Zach is right behind her and Kara races after him. Only Anna and I remain. She looks over at me as I meet her gaze. I nod when she returns. She runs through. Stealing my nerves, I follow Leanna into the rift. The brightness surrounds me, engulfing me until it's all I can see. The muted silence is deafening. My blood races through me. I can barely feel the adrenaline. I feel like I'm suspended in crackling electric air. My legs wade through the light. It's thick and heavy, as if I'm wading through water. Time seems to slow, and yet an instant later I stumble out of the light and into the forest. When I turn back, I catch one last glimpse of the shadow elemental. She waves goodbye before the rift closes behind us. Before I had a chance to get my bearings, Kara immediately pulls me down. I'm about to protest, but she puts a finger to her lips. She points to a row of bushes keeping us from sight. I nod my understanding and stay quiet. Looking around, I see the tall trees overhead form a thick canopy blocking out the sun. The tree trunks are thick and gnarled. Many of them have heavy scarring. The grass beneath my feet feels thin and hard. When I look farther out, the landscape changes to a barren patch of dry ground flagged with craters. It looks like some serious damage took place here. Footsteps nearby. I see a patrol group pass close to us. I hold my breath as they walk by. Luckily, they don't spot us. When they're out of sight, I breathe a sigh of relief. Kara relaxes slightly as to the rest of my teammates. Where are we?
It would appear we are on the former battleground of the Battle of Asaria.
I take another look at the harsh land. It must have been a really intense battle to scar the landscape this much. Elena looks at her manipulator.
I'm scanning extremely high levels of shadow energy here.
As am I. It is without question this is where Void's main base of operation is.
She fiddles with her manipulator.
And the energy type is specific to being transmuted into tainted energy.
Can't say I'm surprised.
This doesn't add up. You would think a place where Void was last strongest would be a place that would be monitored.
According to the Mage Guild reports, they do monitor here.
Then what gives?
The shadow energy here is vast. It would appear Void has used this to their advantage, to not only mask their energy signature, but to also shroud themselves from the eyes of scouts. We, however, appear to have pierced the veil by being on the inside of it.
The shadow elements will send us inside their defenses. That's helpful. The Void shouldn't be underestimated. They're dangerous, but not stupid.
Look there!
Leanna points to the distance. Tendrils of shadow crawl towards the sky. They flicker and dance above the skyline. Amelia checks her manipulator again.
That location has the highest concentration of energy.
Then that's where we need to go to stop them.
The group readies themselves as Zack surveys their surroundings.
There's a lot of ground between us and them. Not to mention all the patrols, guards, and lookouts they'll have.
He is right. One does not simply walk into the heart of Void's operation.
One does not simply. I missed that meme. That was a good meme. One does not simply. What if I use shadow magic? A or B, guys? Doing B. Car can sneak us in. Isn't Car good at the whole sneaking business?
I am, but there's too much open ground. Plus, we're traveling in a group.
Oh, right. That was a stupid suggestion. But maybe I can use my newfound energy. I think I have a way. They look at me. I have shadow magic now. What if we turn it around on them and I'll shroud us in a shadow cloak? They seem skeptical.
You've never cast shadow magic before.
Do you know the way? I can try. I close my eyes and focus on the icy emptiness I felt with the shadow energy poured into me. I remember its soft, biting touch. I raise my hand and a dark bubble of shadow engulfs us. It's reminiscent of the bubble Amelia encased us in the water temple. Zack and Kara inspect the bubble, poking cautiously at the sides. Leanna seems impressed.
You did it!
Most impressive, although not surprising considering his previous mastery of the elements. Let us make haste.
I focus my attention on the shadow shroud as we shuffle out of cover. My heart pounds in my chest. Will this actually keep us hidden? We pause, we hear more footsteps. Another set of patrols come our way. I hold my breath as they near. Then sigh as they walk past us. The shroud successfully kept us hidden. Quickly but quietly, we continue towards the center of the encampment. We make good progress, stopping only when we get too close to the patrols. I keep my shroud around us, feeling the energy flowing out of me. Even though I've been casting for this long, I don't feel tired. All of that training has finally paid off. Eventually we reach the inner circle. There's a circle of robed figures. Their dark hoods cover their faces, but their deep purple robes of void mages are unmistakable. The purple shadows fly around them, whispering and mixing with their chants. The tendrils whip wildly in the air as they continue to grow. They thicken the sky, shielding the light with dark cloud. There's a lot more magic than we originally saw. We're about to form a plan when one of the guards looks in our direction. His gaze pierces through my shroud, and he seems to look right at us. What's going on? I haven't stopped my magic. The rest of the squadron is staring at us too. I take another look at their uniforms. They wear armor and carry a sword, but also have manipulators. It reminds me of Leanna's garb. Are these void mage knights?
I have a bad feeling about this.
As one, they draw their swords. Their metal ringing echoes in the air. Their manipulators start to glow.
They found us! Dodge!
A flurry of shadow bolts fire in our direction. We leap out of the way. My concentration is broken and the shroud collapses. The Void Knights dash towards us as purple energy gathers in their hands.
We need to reach the mages and stop whatever they're doing.
I don't think Void Knights are going to let us through that easily.
Then we'll fight right through them!
We ready ourselves for action. It's the 8 p.m. challenge. My breath comes in ragged gasps as I face the next Void Knight, but I don't hesitate. As he swings, I whip past him and his sword pierces empty air. I strike from behind, knocking the sword out of his hand. Then using the blunt end of my blade and augmented by a rush of wind, I knock him out. He crumples to the ground. The rest of my team stand with me as we scan the area for more enemies. The ground is littered with fallen Void Knights, but the circle of mages still stands. Their chanting grows in volume as the shadow continues to multiply. They ignore our presence, entranced in their own world.
Perform the final channel!
No!
Leanna and Amy throw magic as the mages pour all their energy into the dark shadow. Zack and Carr start to race towards the circle, but a wave of darkness washes over us, flinging us back. We're too late. The dancing shadow warps and surges. Flickering claws reach out as it bursts through the ground and engulfs the circle. The darkness swells and reaches taller than the meager trees, blinding me with the blanket of shadow. I hear the faint crackle of the mages as a surge of purple energy explodes. Shielding my eyes from the blast, I put my hands forth and summon a barrier of opaque shadow to protect us from the shockwaves. As the magic slowly ebbs, I blink my eyes into focus. The entire place is littered with fallen void. Only my friends and I were protected from the blast. However, the shadows twist away to reveal empty eyes. They curl into long claws and sharp teeth, and I gape in the monstrosity looming in the sky.
What is that?
I have never seen such a creature before.
Leanna takes the scene of their fallen victims, her mouth twisting into a frown.
And it left a full trail of destruction as it emerged, without discriminating between void or anything else.
Piercing howl deafens us as the creature screams. Sweeps a long claw at us, but I erect another barrier. Although I managed to block the attack, we're still pushed back by the sheer force of power. Crack. Zack's discharger goes off, shocking us back to life. His energy is absorbed by the creature. Zack's eyes widen as he fixes his lifeless stare onto him. Swats another claw at us, but this time I can't block it in time. An inward scent flying across the camp. My cheek scrapes across the ground as I fall hard. The team struggles to her feet beside me. Amy conjures a flaming sphere between her hands and launches at the creature. The ball of fire disperses harmlessly across the shadow beast. Undeterred, Amy tries to freeze it in place, but it blocks her magic, leaving it unscathed. It roars as it starts another claw at Amy. A car pushes her out of the way. She takes the blunt of the attack. She's knocked back against a tree and slides limply to the ground. Amy rushes over to her. In the meantime, Leanna races around the creature, trying to draw its attention. Her sword glows a pale blue as she hacks at the shadow in this creature's face. It roars again and coils of shadow wrap around Leanna's leg. She manages to wiggle free, but the tendrils are relentless and soon she's trapped. All of our attacks are futile against this creature. Leanna and Zack motion for a retreat, but the creature shoots out shadows to block our escape. Slowly the shadows surround us and close, and we're forced to remain in the fight. We stare, glance, and nod. We have to work together to take this thing down. Leanna and Kara both run in. Amy sends bolts of ice towards the monster, freezing any tendrils which try to escape just in time for Leanna to slice them down. The creature howls in pain. He tries to swipe at Leanna, but Amy burns his claws in a ball of fire and overflows with the heat. Zack aims his discharges and shoots at any tendrils which try to reach Kara, while Kara furiously cuts ribbons of shadow off the beast. Again, the beast yells out another shriek as the tendrils coil back. I break up an earthen barrier to shield Amy as a sneaky shadow tendril tries to strike her, and I cut it down with my sword. I blast the creature with a burning fireball and send a burst of wind behind it. The resulting explosion is twice as big as it hits the creature straight in the chest. It stumbles back as we continue to advance. It looks like we're doing some damage. Another surge of adrenaline kicks in and I let loose another fireball. The beast lets out another scream. One so shrill I can feel it in my bones. It swells in size, growing and surging until it blocks out the sky completely. Raising its claw, it pummels us with a series of fast attacks. I bring up a shield, but the claw rips right through it. We're sent sprawling across the ground again. My face burns as I scrape the dirty ground. Feeling bruised, we push ourselves back to our feet. We can't give up now. The creature watches us struggle and splits into a chaotic rent. As I stumble back onto my feet, I look at the rest of my team still on the ground. They groan as they push themselves to their feet. My legs shake as I steady myself. We can't go on like this. I can already feel the exhaustion settle. I won't be able to keep this up forever. Either I run out of energy, or my body gives up on me. A thought nibbles at the back of my mind. But what if I use up all my remaining energy and channel it into one powerful blast? I know that if I do, it'll not coming back to me. My body is already close to hitting the point of exhaustion, and Amelia warned me multiple times about what would happen if I channeled too much energy at once. But this may be our only way of stopping the creature. Unleash, or it's too risky and uncertain. Unleash! All those temples we visited, all the energy that I accumulated. Hey Donut, how we doing? But okay, I feel the humming deep beneath me, a gentle reminder that it's still there, as if it knows its time has come. It was all for this moment. Energy within me itches to be released, but I pause. That explosion of energy is too dangerous for my friends too. I don't want them to get caught in the blast. I need to get them to a secure location. I can't channel all my energy, shield my friends, and fight off the creature simultaneously. But how do I get them to go?
Boy.
I look down at the Pongo. What is he doing here? He looks up at me and his eyes harden. His body buzzes like the energy within me. I think he can sense what I need to do.
Boy.
I can feel the energy surrounding him too. My energy, which he's slowly been storing all this time. It sinks to each other, waiting to be whole again, wanting to be whole again. I think the Pongo wants to let it free. But what will happen to you? The Pongo gives me an annoying look. His eyes harden with determination. What will happen to him if the same thing that'll happen to me if I unleash all my energy at once. And you would still do it? A mix of emotions roll within me. I don't want to lose him, but I understand the decision that he's made. It's the same decision that I'm making. Stay back. I push my teammates behind me as I step between them and the creature. I have to use all my energy to protect my friends, to protect Tara. No matter the cost, if I have to risk my life to protect those I love, then that is the one risk I'm willing to take. Pongo hops forward with me.
What are you doing?
What we have to do. The Pongo's voice feels small. Determination in his eyes are strong.
Wait!
The Pongo closes his eyes, and a bright light encapsulates him like a shining halo. The light hardens around us, forming a magical barrier. The dumb cages feed the Pongo in with the shadow of the beast, leaving my friend's safety on the outside. I see my teammates shouting. They sound faint and far away. I can't make out their words, but I can still hear the pain in their voices. Soon that is drowned out by the cry of the creature. He withers in pain, twisting away from the bright light shielding it. The barrier in place, concentrating all the energy within me. Leanna steps toward the protective shield, her eyes glittering. She places her hand against the grid, banging against it. Her screams are muffled, as is the pounding of her fists against the dome. Energy found from the dome sparks each time she pounds against it. I shake my head. I can't hear her. She shakes her head, her hands trembling against the barrier. My heart aches as I watch her face fall. She looks so helpless and lost, and that it's all my fault, but this is the only way I know I can protect her. I smile softly and place my hand against hers. The shield feels cool as the hum of energy vibrates beneath my fingers. She overlaps her hands perfectly against mine, but her warp doesn't penetrate her the cold, hard barrier. I'll keep you safe, I promise. She shakes her head again. Her eyes widen as she pounds against the shield again. The tears flow down her cheeks as she shouts again. Leanna. She pauses as her hands cling me to the dome, her eyes glittering. I'm so lucky to have met you. I know our time together was short, but I wouldn't have traded for anything in the world. You're the best thing to have ever happened to me. Even though she can't hear me, she sees the expression on my face, and the tears spill over again, leaving twin trails of wetness down her cheeks. I don't care that we're no longer together. There's a chance I won't ever see her again. I need to tell her exactly how I feel. Leanna, I love you. She got sharply as she reads my lips, clutches at the barrier. And she uses her wind magic to try to break the shield. When that doesn't work, she grabs her sword, but none of her strikes make a dent. I give her one last smile and turn towards the beast. The shadow creature bares its teeth and lets out an otherworldly howl. He continues to reel back from the light surrounding him. All of my rage and pent-up frustration bubbles within me. Remembering all the malicious glee on that beast's face is what faces my anger to boil over. How dare that thing try to hurt my friends? How does it? How dare it threaten Tara? I won't let it. A scream rips out of my throat as I let the anger wash over me. It burrows deep within my bones, igniting the energy within me. All the feelings of each element rolls within me. Tranquility, chaos, rejuvenation. I feel the white hot flash as all the energy races through in me, itching to be released. The light finally dissipates around the creature and it blinks a few times trying to refocus. When it sees me, it growls and tries to swipe at me, but another shield blocks it. The Pongo made sure I would have enough time to channel all my energy. I won't forget what you've done for me. Feeling a renewed strength, I continue to gather the energy within me. It's a win. It just does that. Shao beats howls and wails on the extra barrier. With each solid hit, I begin to see fractures forming along the surface. Just as energy is about to overwhelm me, I throw my arms and the power rises out of me, materializing as 5-pointed swords, all deadly sharp and all poised to strike at the creature. As they emerge, they pierce what remains of my barrier, dispatching kaleidoscopes of light at the beast. It shrinks from the light, howling with rage. My mind is strangely calm. My senses sharpened. I can smell the crackle of energy in the air. It's sweet. It's spicy. The hair on my neck stands on end as the remaining energy continues to surge within me. As the beast shakes off my last of the light, it refocuses on me, baring its teeth. You don't scare me. I open my arms wide again and force all my remaining energy into each blade as it shoots out. The creature raises itself for impact. Instead, I force the blades onto the ground, fracturing the earth and creating a perimeter around the beast. A beam of golden light shoots straight up from the swords. The shadow beast blinks as it shields its eyes from the light. With nothing more happens, it growls at me, readying another attack. Before I can, more beams of light splinter off from the swords and surround the creature. The feelings uncoil within me as the energy flashes into existence. Fire, earth, water, wind, shadow. The beast twists around me, confused by the light, which continues to grow and grow in brightness. My body feels heavy as the energy gushes out of me. The light becomes blinding as my legs give out beneath me. I'm on the ground, but the energy continues to expel from my body. I can't control it anymore. With each wave of energy, my body heaves. Exhaustion blankets me and makes my body feel heavy. And yet, the brilliant light blazes hot, blinding me and chases the shadows away. Okay, guys, we need the heroes. War cry. Do we say, this ends now? You shall not pass. GG. Or, cool guys, don't look at explosions. Okay, what do we got? We got B and we got C. Come on, guys. I'm going with C. G. With my final ounce of strength, I pour all my remaining energy into the swords. The creature lets loose an anguished scream as it begins to dissolve. The scream lingers in my mind, resonating in my ears. Through the blinding whiteness, I imagine the end a smile, just as dazzling as the light. And then, nothing. It's over. It's finally over. My friends are safe, and that's what's important. With a smile on my face, I let the brightness wash over me as the world falls silent. Oh, just to let you know, spoilers, if we had chosen the other one, everyone would have just died. So this was the only path, just to let you know. Ethan. We got dots. We got dots. We got dots. More dots. Dot, 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 dot. I blink, open my eyes to a world of gray. Where am I? Feeling groggy, I rub my eyes and look around. Stiff mountain peaks climb into the horizon while a stream... What I'm going to do is I'm going to save it here. Feeling groggy, I rub my eyes and look around. Stiff mountains peak climb into the horizon, while a stream babbles nearby. It flows into a river, basin underneath with a splashing waterfall. The scenery is very picturesque, and it looks straight out of a magazine, but all the colors are all wrong. Everything in the immediate area around me is black or white, with some shade in between. As it gets further into the distance, I see a grove of trees with a pocket of green. To the left there are cluster of purple mountains. The more I look around, the more I see colors localized to specific areas. I wonder why only some places have colors and others don't. Soft voices catch my attention. I recognize the spirits from the temple. They look exactly as I remembered, but more solid, more real.
Those who summoned the Shadow Prime Vanquisher must be discovered to face the consequences. Their actions cannot be ignored.
Once your investigation begins, it will only be a matter of time before the perpetrators are found. Only those in energy surplus can open a rift onto Mortalis Terra.
The Earth Elemental's voice is sweet and melodic, like the birds of the forest. The Air Elemental's eyes widen.
Such is forbidden. That is something they would have known.
Her voice is strong and carries far. It's strange hearing all the elementals talk. The others nod in agreement.
Yes, and out of those who can cross over to Mortalis Terra, only 3 Shadow Houses have access to a Shadow Prime Vanquisher. The Shadow Houses have remained quiet ever since I took over the Magistrate. I wonder if they were all plotting this.
The Water Elemental places a comforting hand on the Shadow Elemental's arm. When she speaks, her voice bubbles and flows like the rush of a river.
You cannot blame yourself for these unfortunate courses of events. Their plan was in the making before you even ascended the Shadow Magistrate.
The Earth Elemental nods.
In truth, you handled the situation quite well, especially for being new in your role.
The Fire Elemental puts her hands on her hips. The heat of dancing flames is in her voice.
However, Sister Magistrates, our work is far from over. We must each return to our domains. If rumors spread that there are no consequences for crossing into Mortalis Terra, we may have our own houses who might hope to take matters into their own hands and try to summon our own elemental prime vanquishers.
I stir, pushing myself off the ground, and the elementals freeze. The shadow elemental looks over to me and gasps.
You're here?
At the mention of me, the other elementals turn around and slowly make their way towards me. Their faces are a mixture of concern and surprise. The air elemental flits over to me and looks me over.
Is he real? No human has ever crossed over to our side before.
Okay, are we gonna do? Am I in heaven? Where am I, or is this a dream? A, B, or C, guys? We're doing A. What is this place? The Shadow Elemental steps over to me.
This is the Ether Terra.
Ether Terra? The last thing I remember is defeating the creature, and then there was this blinding light. The elemental share a glance.
The light? Was it from your cast?
I think so.
And you casted all of the elements at once?
Yeah. They blink at each other in surprise. When the fire elemental speaks, she sounds pensive.
You must have inadvertently opened a temporal fracture, which pulled you into Ether Terra.
I somehow casted a rift, and yet I'm still alive, but all I remember is the crippling pain of the energy consuming me. Is that even possible? They look at each other, worried.
That I cannot answer for certain. Yet you stand here in our realm. No human has ever set foot in Ether Terra before, but no human has been able to cast all of the elements either.
I look around my surroundings. The landscape feels familiar, but nothing is the same. It all feels so overwhelming. All I want is to return to normalcy. It doesn't matter how I got here. I need to go back. Can you send me back?
Back where exactly?
Okay, guys. Do we go back to home to Earth, or do you go back to Terra? We're going to B. We got B. We got 1B. We go to Terra. We're going to Terra. Back to Terra. The elementals look at each other and back at me. Then they nod. They prepare themselves to cast, but before they do, they all look at me instead. Seeing all of themselves standing together, it hits me just how regal they look.
You do not wish to return to your world?
I shake my head. I have someone waiting for me in Terra, who I'm very eager to get back to.
As you wish. Child of the other world, thank you.
The shadow elementals lower their head. lowers her head in respect. Each elemental nods to me in turn. I look at each of the other elementals and smile. I appreciate all the help you've given me along the way.
I am glad it was enough.
It was our pleasure.
We won't forget you, or what you've done for us.
The elementals return to position.
Are you ready?
Yes. My vision goes stark white again. I feel the same crackle of energy. Electricity tingles my skin as I feel the weightless solidness surround me. I instinctively shield my eyes, and when I come to, I've returned to Terra. My friends are solemnly gathered together. Leanne has crumpled to her knees, hanging her head in her hands. I can hear her sobs bellow over the sniffling of the group. Zack stands stone-faced, looking into the distance at nothing. Kara's arms are around him, her head resting on his shoulder as the silent tears roll down her cheeks. Amy kneels beside Leanna and awkwardly pats her back. Her bright pigtails are lowered, hiding her face. Alright guys, do we tell everyone we're okay? Pretend to be a ghost? Or be nonchalant? Like, what happened? What's going on? Where's my cookie? Uh-oh. It's really not that important. Ooh. Leanna's hand whips up, the size of her eyes the size of saucers.
What's that?
Ooh, I'm a spooky ghost.
Oh no!
She clings to Amy, who looks suspiciously at her.
Is this some sort of joke?
I pop up from behind a tree into our line of sight. I've come back to haunt you. Leanna screams and blows me with the wind. It knocks me back against the tree and I wince. Ow, Leanna. She jumps to her feet and sends another blast my way.
Stay back!
Leanna! She freezes and stares at me. It's me. I'm not actually a ghost. For a moment, nobody moves. Then Leanna sends another gust of wind towards me. It strikes me in the stomach. Ugh. I double over, but as I straighten back up, her arms wrap around me as she squeezes me tightly. Whoa.
I thought I lost you forever!
I'm sorry that I made you worry.
And then you pulled this terrible trick on me!
I'm sorry. I feel the wetness on her cheeks and bring a hand to wipe away her tears. But I'm here now.
I'm so mad at you, but I'm also just so relieved you're alive. But also that was a terrible trick. But also, you're back!
I squeeze her reassuringly. Well, I did tell you I would never leave you. Leanna smiles between the sniffles.
Yes, you did. And I'm holding you to that.
The rest of my team surrounds us.
What happened? How did you get back here?
It's a bit of a long story, which might be best saved for another time. Amy nods.
Even without an explanation, it is still quite reassuring to have you return.
Thanks, Amy. I'm glad to be back. I missed you guys.
We missed you too.
Come on, it's only been like 5 minutes since he was gone. Don't be so dramatic.
Fuck you, Zach! Despite that, his eyes are glittering. Zach, were you crying?
No, you were crying.
We all blink at the tiny squeak. Out of my scarf pops a miniature Pongo. No bigger than my finger. He hops onto my shoulder and squeaks again. You're so tiny. Ah, get it off! Or, you're alive. Which one, guys? A, B, or C? Pongos, thank goodness you're alive. I lean my cheek against him, and he squishes his cheek back in a hug.
Boy.
I was so worried about you too. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Leanna peers at the Pongo.
Oh, he's so cute!
Amy squints to get a closer look.
He certainly bears a strong resemblance.
Well, yeah. All Pongos pretty much look the same.
Wow, that is so racist. All Pongos pretty much look the same. That is so racist. That is so racist against Pongos. Kara lightly punches Zach's arm.
Don't be mean.
The Pongo hops up and nips my nose. Yep, definitely him.
I'm so relieved he made it too.
Of course, he's a tough little guy. I pat his head as he snuggles against my neck. Gradually, as the shock of my reappearance winds down, we all sit down and take a minute to just process everything. The creature was defeated, and all my teammates are alive and safe. But most important, I'm back in Terra. I look over at Leanna, who twists the lock of her hair, deep in thought. There is nothing standing in the way of us now, no looming threat of danger or the possibility of one of us leaving. We're all finally free to be together. Zach clears his throat, breaking the silence and interrupting my thoughts.
So, we finally defeated Void.
Kara gives Zach a strange look.
Yes.
Zach gestures to me.
And I'm assuming since you're still here in Terra, it means you aren't trying to find a way home anymore.
Leanna's gaze slides to me. She bites her lip in anticipation. Her eyes anxious yet hopeful. I smile at her. That's right. She smiles, her eyes shining. Zach grins and puts his hands behind his head, leaning back against the tray.
Excellent. Then I believe payment is in order.
We blink at him. Huh?
My job was to protect Amelia throughout our travels, and, as you can see, she is in one piece. So, you owe me 42,030 coins for my services based on how long this mission has been and how far we've traveled.
Again, we gape at Zach. The color drains from Leanna's face. But we just saved the world.
Saving the world doesn't put beer in my stomach.
Even Kara looks at him astonished.
What about some of the loot you took from the temples?
That's a perk of the job. I was promised payment.
If the objective was to keep me safe throughout our travels, then your mission is not yet complete. In order to return me to Illumia, we will still need to travel.
As the other tries to reason with Zach, Leanna just stares.
Zach, you can't be serious right now.
Zach fixes a stony gaze on Leanna, then grins.
You're right. I'm just joking.
There's a pause.
What?
It's a joke, like, haha, that's funny, sort of thing.
I think you need to work on your jokes and timing.
It's not my fault if you guys don't understand good humor.
Zach crosses his arm and pouts. Leanna breaks down into laughter. Her laugh is infectious, and soon of us all are doubling over with laughter, releasing everything that's pent up inside, all of the hurt, fear, and relief. As I view each of my friends, I feel a warmth blossom within me. These are the people who meant the most to me, and no matter what the future throws at us, I know we can always count on each other to get through it. In them, I found my family. With them, I am home. Dot dot dot. Dot 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 dot. 2 months later. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot.
And so, our heroes triumphed. But that is not the end of their tale. Our talented magecaster Amelia returned to the Mage Academy and submitted the results of her field study. It was received with much admiration, and to this day, her studies on the elementals are still being discussed.
And she's got an even skimpier dress than what she's got before!
Needless to say, the rest of her tenure as a student was a breeze, and she graduated with full honors. After graduation, she donned the same black cloaks at the academy and became a professor herself. She became something of an expert on the temples, and students traveled far and wide to study from her. Although busy teaching the next generation of mages, Amelia never lost her innate sense of curiosity Her latest research dives deeper into the secrets of rifts and parallel worlds.
He chuckles.
For all that has changed, not so very much has changed at all. As for the mercenary and his dashing beauty, well, retirement suits them well. Zack hung up his discharges, and Kara's finally grown some roots. Together, they combined their savings to provide other lost children what they've always wanted: a family. They run an orphanage now, accepting all children who need a home. Zack teaches them all sorts of life skills, while Kara teaches them about art and history. No matter how gruff Zack may be, he's careful and gentle with the children. In fact, they know that at the end of the day, Zack is just a big softy at heart. Kara showers the children with love and affection, and encourages them to tease Zack. After all this time, it's still so easy to get him flustered. The two of them have finally found their happiness and their home. Next is our formidable Mage Knight. After the last battle against the Shadow Prime Vanquisher, Liana returned to the Mage Guild to report all of her findings. The guild was impressed by her fortitude and boldness in hindering Void's uprising. Her selflessness and bravery demonstrated she possessed the heart and spirit of what it means to be a top-class Mage Knight. She was promoted to the most prestigious rank of Mage Class S, the highest within the guild. She is the youngest Mage Knight to receive such an honor. When her family heard the news, they all attended her promotion ceremony, beaming with pride. Her father stood in the front row, and afterwards boasted about how his daughter embodied the strength and intelligence of House Dawn.
Oh, so now her brother is what? Nothing? It's like, that's my daughter. She is everything we like. What about your son? What about Leon? Is he like chopped liver now or something? What son? Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh. That's like oof right there.
No longer does Liana fret about what the future might determine for her. She knows that she can carve her own destiny. And as for our hero, well, that is a tale for another day.
We'll
And that is the end of Crystalline, guys. This was our run. Yep. Let me see if I can find the end. Wait. Location. Wait. Everything is pitch black. I can hear someone flipping through the pages of a book. I hear a low whispering. The scratches of a pen. Ugh, my head. Did I dream all this stuff?
Hey?
It was such a good dream, I didn't want to wake up.
Hey!
Someone shakes me.
Come on, wake up!
Huh? I sit up, blinking. Everything is blurry at first, but then a classroom comes into focus. A student in a green cloak sits next to me.
Finally you're awake. How can you sleep at a time like this? We've got to study!
I glance at the mountain of books and groan. Only after enrolling in the Mage Academy to officially learn how to be a mage, I just realized how little I actually know. Can I go back to morning? Okay, guys. A, B, or C? I missed out on study time? Can I go back to morning training sessions? Being a mage was so much better when just me and Leanna waking up at the crack of dawn to spar. She's a way nicer teacher than anyone here. I sigh. Things were way easier when the elementals were helping out. My mastery of casting elements quickly diminished after that battle months ago. I think my fast learning had something to do with the elementals' magic, like they were heightening my abilities somehow.
What?
He raises an eyebrow.
What are you talking about, Broseph?
Whoops, did I say that out loud? I said it was much easier when Amy was helping me out. Shinji lets out a strangled laugh.
I told you before, it's really weird when you call Professor Estelle by your first name. And a nickname at that.
I huff and cross my arms, leaning further in my chair. Yeah, well, you'd think my old travel companion will at least give me less homework. The Pongo wiggles out of my scarf and bounces onto a desk. He is a little bigger now, maybe a teenage-sized Pongo.
Boy?
He leaps onto the books, scattering a few papers.
Boy!
That's right, Pongo. Studying sucks. The Pongo gives me a pointed frown and shakes his head as if disappointed. He indicates one of the open books.
Boy!
Aw, man, are you trying to tell me I need to study too?
Boy!
The Pongo nods. Shinji laughs.
The Pongo has spoken. Time to get back to it then.
I sigh, pulling myself together. I thought you were my friend, Pongo. He grins widely and snuggles against me. I can't stay angry at him. My friend pops open a book and we take turns quizzing each other on our upcoming test. Before long, I say my farewells to Shinji and head out. The sky is clear and blue. I shield my eyes from the bright sun as a soft breeze tickles my skin. With my studying over, I feel prepared for Amy's test tomorrow. As I head back towards the dorm, excited voices catch my attention. I stop to check out what all the commotion was.
Hey, there's a mage class S at the academy.
That's crazy. There's no way one would be here.
I'm serious. I saw her at the entrance.
Wait, are you talking about that super hot girl?
Yeah.
The second student laughs.
You're blind. She's way too young to be a mage class S. If anything, she looks like a student here.
I thought the same thing, but I saw the emblem. She really is one.
The other student's eyes widen.
Really? But it doesn't make any sense. And why would she be at the academy?
I don't know.
My heart jumps. I turn around and start jogging towards the entrance. My heart is pounding as I pick up the pace. A feeling of warmth blooms in my chest, encouraging me to move faster. I reach the wrought iron gate and see a woman, Leanna, standing against it. I recognize her blonde hair instantly, and a warm, huge smile spreads across my face. Her hair is longer than before, and her new armor makes her look majestic. Hey, Leanna! She starts at the sound of my voice, but I can already see a smile forming. She also turns around, still looking just as beautiful as the day I met her. Her blue eyes sparkle with warmth. Bright eyes light her face as she looks at me. My heart flutters.
Hey there.
Is that the end? I hope that's not the end. True ending achieved! Thank you for playing Crystalline. Blah 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 blah. Wah, wah. So it looks like we got to the true ending. We got Leanna. No! It wasn't a question mark, it was Finn. So let's do epilogue? Maybe it's the epilogue. Alright, so we got the gallery. the armor looks different, actually. Wait, is it? No, this is just darker scening. Okay. Asking me what? What are you asking me? What would happen if we left to Earth for Earth? It would just end up being a different end. It would have been like an ending that it's just another ending. It's you don't get to be with Leanna. You just have an ending. So, what are we going to do now? It's like 8 o'clock, and like nothing else to do. No. Maybe another. Maybe Hmm. Actually, you know what? We could do that. We could do that. Let's do this. Is it not coming through? There we go. So you guys want to start playing Doki Doki, or do you guys want to wait until tomorrow? Okay, we'll wait. Okay, so we can do it tomorrow. Okay, that works. This is another anime. It's, you gotta look for it on Steam. I have no clue. I have never played it, so I do not know anything about it. My guess is as good as yours. So you guys want to start it now, or do you guys want to do it tomorrow? Okay, we can do it tomorrow. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll click the stop here.